At this time, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Town of Lexington Council meeting. This meeting is being held at Town Hall Tuesday evening, September 5th, 2023. This meeting is being broadcast on the town's YouTube channel. I'm Steve McDougall, the Mayor of Lexington. At this time, I'd like to introduce my fellow council members. To my left is Mayor Pro Tem Hazel Livingston.
Good evening.
To her left is Council Member Todd Carnes.
Good evening.
To his left is Council Member Gavin Smith.
Good evening.
To my right is Council Member Kathy Banis.
Good evening.
To her right is Council Member Ron Williams.
Good evening.
At this time, I'd like to ask Mayor Pro Tem Livingston if she would give tonight's opening invocation, but I think she just told me that she has someone that's going to give that for her.
I do. I asked our associate pastor from our church, I guess, Director of Executive Ministry, is that your title?
The Assistant Pastor of Equipping.
There we go.
He keeps us all straight
But
at
that's
Watershed. I asked him to come pray for us tonight. This is Nate Robbins. And
Hey,
his-
Nate, how you doing?
Honored to be here.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
inviting me.
Appreciate you
And
being
his
here.
lovely wife, Emily, is a teacher at River Bluff.
Yes. Honored to be here. Honored to live here in this great town. Just a brief encouragement to y'all from the Word before I pray. I know we're all leaders, and we want to see our town flourish and thrive. One of the questions that we often ask as leaders is, am I the right person for the job that I've been called to? And there's a passage that stood out to me. I was thinking about that. We often think we don't have the right resources, we don't have the right character traits for the job that we've been called to, and you're not alone. I think of Moses in the scriptures. He was called to go speak before Pharaoh and tell him to let the people go. And he said this in Exodus 4. Verse 10, but Moses said to the Lord, "O my Lord, I'm not eloquent, either in the past or since you have spoken to your servant, but I'm slow of speech and of tongue." Then the Lord said to him, "Who has made man's mouth? Who makes him mute or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be your mouth. I will teach you what you shall speak." But he said, "O my Lord, please send someone else." Then the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses, and he said, "Is there not Aaron your brother, the Levite? I know he can speak well." Just thought of this, if you are called to a certain task, know that the Lord has, even though he's given you some weaknesses, some things to think, man, I wish that I had this, I wish I had that. He's often given you the means, whether it's in your fellow council members or it's in someone in the town that might be a help to you. But really and truly, it's to lean upon him. His power is made perfect in your weakness. And so as you might consider, am I the right person for the job? He's called you to it. He will equip you for that task ahead. So let me pray for your proceedings with that in mind. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the important work that this council takes up tonight. We pray for them as they deliberate on the important issues, things like traffic and things like issues related to equipping our parents to do the work that they've been called to do, for caring for the businesses of our town. We want it to thrive and to flourish. And so we pray for these men and women as they talk, give them wisdom, give them discernment. Lord, I pray they would be forward-thinking, thinking not just about the problems of today, but those that might be 5 and 10 years down the road. And so I pray also, Lord, that they would lean upon each other, knowing that they are each a gift to one another. Lord, it's not up to just one of us to solve the world's problems or even Lexington's problems. So let us lean upon each other and most importantly upon you, Lord, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the one who owns all the cattle on 1,000 hills. Lord, may they lean upon you tonight and every day going forward. We pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you being with us tonight. At this time, I'd like to welcome Lexington County veteran, U.S. Army retired Sergeant First Class, Mr. Rich Little. Rich, good to see you again, buddy.
Good to be here.
Yeah, come on forward. Yeah, not bored with you at all, buddy. We love having you with us. Love you being a member of our community, and we're proud to ask you to be here with us tonight to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone please rise and remove your hats.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rich, thank you for being with us. Come on, give us some good news tonight.
All right, well, I've told you folks all about me so many times.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something innovative to say. So let's just start by saying I was happily born in just outside of Brooklyn, New York, 87 years ago. And it took me 50 years to get smart enough to come to South Carolina. Along the way, I had 5 children, picked up a beautiful red-headed wife, and we lived about a mile from here in the same house. We've been married for 38 years. We've lived in that house for 37 years. I've been very happy here in Lexington. As far as me, I think about the Cold War, and almost everyone here has either lived through or remember reading about it in history books. Well, I lived it. It lasted for 42 years, and I was in the military for 22 of those 42 years. That's just about 50%. Over that time, I went to Germany for 6 years, Turkey for a year, Puerto Rico for a while, and then a bunch of places all over the United States. The majority of the time I served in a branch of military intelligence, what some people call a contradiction in terms. And I was in what's called communications intelligence. And what that boils down to is there are bad guys all over the world. It was our job to listen in the bad guys and get the intelligence information over to, on either a strategic way to the National Security Agency or to tactical commanders for immediate intelligence. That's what we did. In fact, we had a motto, and that motto went this way: in God we trust, everyone else we monitor. So I had the fortune of the Army Landing School sending me to language school twice over the 22 years, the first time for Polish and the second time for Russian. So I think that without too much thinking, you can figure out why I served in Germany and why I served in Turkey and who the bad guys I was listening to. But it was a great life in many ways, and this is a great place for me to wind down my life. And I think that's enough for now.
That's good, Rich. Thank you very much for being with us. And again, thank you for being part of our community. We appreciate you.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
At this time, I will call the meeting to order. Our first item of business this evening is to report on our executive session this evening. Tonight's executive session, we had 3 personnel items. One was a routine personnel matter, one was a routine administrative personnel matter, and one was discussion regarding utilities director search. We had 4 legal issues, 1 issue regarding municipal election procedures, 1 was issue regarding litigation in the West Columbia water case, 1 was issues regarding utilities in a condemnation case, and 1 was advice regarding agenda items for tonight's agenda. No vote was taken in executive session other than to vote to adjourn executive session. Do I have a motion to ratify the mayor's executive session report?
So moved.
Ms. Manus makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Smith seconds the motion. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Deletions on the agenda. Are there any deletions on tonight's agenda? Anyone have anything they'd like to pull off the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move right into presentations. Our first presentation this evening is a proclamation congratulating the Lexington County Blowfish. If I could have Bill and Vicki Shanahan please come forward. Welcome and congratulations to both of y'all. Thank you. What a wonderful season. We talked about it in the beginning of the season. Felt like a good year. Had everybody lined up, some good players coming back. You felt pretty positive about it. Never thought you'd pull it off, but you did. Congratulations. If you don't mind, I'm going to read a proclamation from the mayor and council for the town of Lexington, commending the Lexington County Blowfish for winning the 2023 Coastal Plain League Championship. Whereas Lexington County Blowfish have played baseball locally on Ballpark Road for 9 seasons, and whereas the Blowfish finished the Coastal Plain League regular season with an overall record of 28 wins, 18 losses after a strong second half season, which included a record of 16 wins with only 8 losses. And whereas the second half record qualified the Bluefish for the Coastal Plain League playoff, where in the first round they defeated the Forest City Owls in the best-of-3 series to reach the league finals. And whereas they defeated the Wilmington Sharks in the best-of-3 final series, losing Game 1 but rebounding to win Game 2 and setting a stage for a winner-take-all final Game 3 at Lexington County Baseball Stadium. And whereas in Game 3, the Bluefish led 5-2 going into the 5th inning, but endured a lengthy rain delay before holding on to a 7-5 victory to clinch the league championship. And whereas the victory in Game 3 earned the Bluefish their first CPL championship since 2012 and their first since the team moved to Lexington County in 2015. Whereas the Bluefish roster consisted of several players from the town of Lexington and Lexington County. Whereas the mayor and council, as well as citizens of the town of Lexington, are always proud of the athletic achievements of their local teams and athletes. Now, therefore, be proclaimed by the mayor and council for the town of Lexington that the Lexington County Bluefish are hereby recognized and commended for their accomplishments in winning the 2023 Coastal Plain League Championship, dated this 5th day of September 2023. Steve McDougall, Mayor. Congratulations.
Okay.
Congratulations. Go ahead. I know what you know to do.
First, Vicki and I want to thank all of you for supporting your home team, coming out this year in full force on Town of Lexington night with the Blowfish. It was a great night. And you know, I don't remember if we won or lost on the field. We lost.
And you weren't happy.
Well, I wasn't.
There was some controversy there.
Everyone had fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone had fun.
We had a blast.
And that's what it's about. We're thankful. It was great to win a championship, but that's not really our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is to provide great family fun and entertainment, cost affordably, and be something for our community that people feel good about. And Blowfish are not just baseball. You know, we look forward to joining once again every year with John and Kelly Klinger and hosting the Chili Cook-Off. We love bringing the Shamrock Parade to town of Lexington every year. And then with the Blowfish, it was fabulous. I do have to say this, and we received word today from the league that the Lexington County Blowfish were voted once again Organization of the Year, back to back. And that's a tribute to all of the people, from the players to the coaches to the game day staff to all the communities and all of you, for making us as solid and as consistent as we are. So we just want to once again say thank you to all of you, and we will continue to do what we do best, and that's try to bring great family fun and entertainment to our community. God bless you all, and have a great night.
Great, Bill. Thank you so much.
And I would thank the chief. I got a special pin and a commemorative coin, and I value that very much. So the next time we'll see you, Chili Cook-Off's coming up, 10th annual.
Yep.
And then right after that, the 9th annual Shamrock Parade. So get your Irish jig ready there, okay? So we'll thank you all very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Bill. Thank y'all. Vicki, good to see you. Very good. We'll move right into the vision plan update for September. The new amphitheater in the Virginia Hilton Park area is coming together. Equipment installation for the new playground is in full swing, and the Friendship Arbor is up in the teen area. Stone facades are being added to the picnic shelter and other areas throughout the park. Next, grading work will begin for the splash pad. The goal is to open the park back up in the spring of 2024. This is just one of the vision plan projects in the town of Lexington. For a complete list, please visit our website at lexsc.com. This time we will have a traffic update from Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Please use caution and patience in and around the school zones as individuals adjust to the new schedules. SCDOT continues realigning Glassmaster Road and Bruner Road. Construction will begin in the next few weeks along Sunset Boulevard as a right turn lane into Whiteford Way is installed. The next traffic committee meeting is scheduled for October the 11th at 8 a.m. And please call 803-358-7273 to report any traffic signal issue, unsafe roadway condition, pothole, or a pole that's about to fall down. If you haven't seen Facebook, go look, you'll see it. But anyway, they're working on it. That's all.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. This time we'll move into public hearings. Public hearing speakers are limited to 5 minutes. Our first public hearing this evening is final reading of an ordinance annexing Lexington County Tax Map 4496-02-042 located at 2437 Mineral Springs Road. Anyone here wish to speak to that? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 2. This is final reading of an ordinance annexing Lexington County Tax Map 3500-03-057 located at 4766 Sunset Boulevard. Anyone here wish to speak to that? Very good. That concludes our public hearing. We'll move right into old business. Our first item of old business from Councilmember Kathy Maness. This is final reading of an ordinance annexing Lexington County Tax Map 4496-02-042 located at 2437 Mineral Springs Road. Ms. Maness.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Garland Velveton Person, McWhirter Revocable Trust owns 1.5 acres located at 2437 Mineral Springs Road and has petitioned to annex the property. An office building is located on the property. Properties in town near this one are zoned general commercial, and Mineral Springs Road is classified as a collector road. The Planning Commission reviewed this annexation during their July meeting and recommended office commercial zoning for the parcel and collector road classification for Mineral Springs Road. I make a motion for final reading approval.
Ms. Maness makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Williams seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of old business is from Councilmember Todd Carnes. This is final reading of an ordinance annexing Lexington County Tax Map 3500-03-057 located at 4766 Sunset Boulevard. Mr. Carnes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Rivercrest Presbyterian Church, PCA, owns 2 acres located at 4766 Sunset Boulevard and has petitioned to annex the property. Properties in town near this one are zoned general commercial, and Sunset Boulevard is classified as an arterial road. The Planning Commission reviewed this annexation during their July meeting and recommended the same zoning and road classification for this parcel. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion for final reading approval.
Councilmember Carnes makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Maness seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. At this time, we'll move into new business. Our first item of new business is from Councilmember Ron Williams. This is the appointment of the Assistant Municipal Court Judge and the oath of office. Councilmember Williams.
Town Council is being asked to consider appointing an Assistant Municipal Judge. This position will be part-time and for a suggested appointment term of 2 years. The appointment would allow the town more flexibility in scheduling the trials and would assist in clearing up the jury trial backlog. After appointment, the judge must be sworn in and with the attached oath of office being used. The council is being asked to appoint Sean Graham to the position. Motion to have the mayor swear him in for a 2-year term.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem seconds that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Mr. Graham, if you would, please join me down front. We'll swear you in. solemnly swear that I am duly qualified,
I do solemnly swear that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office to which I have been appointed,
to exercise the duties of the office to which I am appointed,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and I will, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state
and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much, Judge. Appreciate it.
Judge. Sign, please.
Sean, if you'd like to say anything, you're certainly welcome, but we just want to say thank you for agreeing to take that position. We needed a backup judge, and it was getting to a critical point. So we thank you for accepting that position and putting your name in the hat and being a part of our town.
I appreciate you all having faith in me, and I will do the best I can for you.
We know you will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
At this time, we'll move into item number 2. This is first reading of an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance creating special requirements related to car wash locations. This is Councilmember Todd Carnes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Over the last few years, the town has seen a significant increase in the number of proposed automated car washes. These businesses utilize loud buzzers to signal equipment startup, have large blowers to dry cars, and utilize outdoor vacuums that operate the entire time the business is open. These features present unique opportunities for noise complaints and other potential conflicts if the business is located too close to residential properties. During the August Planning Commission meeting, the commission recommended amending the zoning ordinance to require new car wash businesses to locate at least 500 feet from any residential property line. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion for first reading approval.
Mr. Carnes makes a motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
Ms. Manus seconds that motion. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I would
Yes.
like clarification from Mr. Hanson. Mr. Hanson, is this going to be property line from the building to the house, or how are we going to determine the 500 feet?
The way that it is currently proposed is 500 feet from the property line.
The building,
Building has nothing to do with it.
the noise apparatus would have to be 500 feet from the property line?
No, the property line of the car wash business would have to be 500 feet from a property line from a residential property.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
So I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Manus.
You're not going to get off that easy. So thinking about my neighborhood, Hope Ferry Plantation, where our back kind of is up toward 378. So how far so would this be from the neighbor's backyard, from that back fence that separates our neighborhood from the businesses? It would be from that 500 feet?
Their property line, which is in
Right in
this
front.
case is shared with some of the properties on 378. It would be, none of those would be allowable locations for a car wash
Okay,
because it'd be shared. It's a shared property line.
okay. All right, thank you.
Anyone else? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of new business is from Councilmember Gavin Smith. This is first reading of an ordinance creating the Small Business Advisory Committee. Councilmember Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Town Council has been asked to consider approving the creation of a Small Business Advisory Committee. The committee shall be charged with making recommendations to Town Council regarding ordinances, policies, and procedures either impacting the small business community or that would be beneficial to small business were they to be adopted. Periodic reports may be made to town council in progress or upon specific recommendations. The committee will sunset on December 31st, 2025, and the committee, in terms of appointees, may only be extended by subsequent ordinance passed by town council. A draft ordinance creating the committee is attached to the documentation we have, and I make a motion for first reading approval of an ordinance creating the Small Business Advisory Committee.
Councilmember Smith makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem seconds that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of new business is from Mayor Pro Tem Hazel Livingston. This is first reading of an ordinance annexing Lexington County Tax Map 5497-04-001 and 5497-04-029 located at 108 Railroad Avenue. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. McCutcheon Holding LLC owns approximately 12.58 acres on 2 parcels located at 108 Railroad Avenue and is petitioned to annex the property. An electrician's office is being planned on the site. Properties in town near this one are zoned general commercial and high-density residential. Railroad Avenue is classified as a local road. The Planning Commission reviewed this annexation during their August meeting and recommended limited commercial zoning for the parcel. They also recommended classifying Railroad Avenue as a local road. I make a motion for first reading of approval.
Mayor Pro Tem makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Williams seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of new business is from Councilmember Kathy Maness. This is first reading of an ordinance amending Section 72.47D, fine for handicap parking violation. Councilmember Maness.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. State Law 56-3-1910 requires that anyone found guilty of illegally parking in a handicap parking zone must be imprisoned for not more than 30 days or fined not less than $500 and not more than $1,000. The state legislature's use of the word must indicates the requirement suggested is mandatory. Therefore, the town should consider amending its code of ordinances to align with this requirement. The town code of ordinance has conflicting provisions on this topic, neither of which is consistent with the state law. 72.47 initially set the fine as $100. Later, 75.12 was added and increased the penalty to $150, along with other provisions for parking violations. It is suggested that the town repeal Code 75-12, subsection A, and amend Code 72.47, subsection D, to increase the fine to comply with the state law. I make a motion for first reading approval.
Ms. Maness makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Williams seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of new business is from Councilmember Todd Carnes. This is a resolution. This is from the Municipal Association, Civility and Local Government. Councilmember Carnes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. During the 2023 annual meeting of the Municipal Association of South Carolina in Greenville, President Barbara Blaine Bellamy spoke about the importance of civility in local government. Creating an environment that is open, fair, and considerate to everyone is crucial. This means basing decisions on factual information, being transparent in actions and decision-making processes, and being accountable for promoting a sense of pride and togetherness throughout the community. By prioritizing civility, a positive example is set to build trust and confidence, not just in local government, but in the community's essential quality of togetherness. A civil local government is not just nice to have, but it is a must-have. It is the foundation upon which a healthy and functioning democracy is built. Adoption of the civility resolution supports the critical need of civility for democratic self-governance and allows the council to pledge to practice and promote civility within the governing body for the benefit of all. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion for council approval.
Councilmember Carnes makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Manus seconds the motion. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. Mr. Carnes.
I would just like to add to this that civil debate is our strength. And in civil debate, where people don't attack each other but debate ideas, the best ideas always win, at least in a sane population. I don't know about an insane population, but the best ideas always win. And so it is a sad state of affairs when we lose the ability to disagree, debate civilly, and walk away with pride and walk away with our relationships intact. And so I know this council strives for that, this town strives for that, and hopefully one day our nation will strive for that once more. So I'm very proud of the fact that we have adopted this resolution.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Carnes. Anyone else? We have a motion from Mr. Carnes, a second by Ms. Manus. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous.
Mr. Mayor, can our clerk let the Municipal Association know that we passed that? Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Our next item of new business is from Councilmember Ron Williams. This is a boards and commissions application, Historic Preservation Review Board. Mr. Williams.
The town received an application from Ms. Joyce Miles, who is interested in an appointment to the Town of Lexington Historic Preservation Review Board, which currently has 2 vacancies. The application and the boards and commissions director are attached. Make a motion to appoint Ms. Joyce Miles to the committee.
Mr. Williams makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Smith seconds that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. It is unanimous. Our next item of new business is from Councilmember Kathy Manus. This is the facility rental deposits. Ms. Manus.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There was a discussion at the August 21st work session regarding changes to the deposit rate policy for the Conference Center, PCI, and Eli Mack Room. The intent is to increase deposits associated with each facility in order to address the increased damages the town has been experiencing. The proposed change is to increase the deposit rate to $750 for the Conference Center, PCI, and Eli Mack Room, and change the deposit method for reserving a room. The new deposit method will require the renter pay 1/2 of the rental fee at the time of the reservation, and the remaining fee plus deposit pay no later than 30 days prior to the event date. All deposits made at least 30 days prior to the rental will be returned within 5 to 7 business days after the facility is inspected and no damages are assessed. I make a motion for council approval.
Ms. Manus makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Williams seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of new business is from Councilmember Gavin Smith. This is use of space at the Ice House Market events for Lexington County Animal Shelter. Councilmember Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Lexington Town Council recognizes the vital role the Lexington County Animal Shelter plays in ensuring the welfare of animals within our community. As such, the Town of Lexington Council is forming a partnership with the Lexington County Animal Shelter by offering their staff free space at the Ice House Market as a vendor under the Booth for a Cause category. The animal shelter will pay the usual seasonal security deposit. This partnership will not impact the availability to other vendors in the category because the animal shelter will not count toward the category vendor limit, and the animal shelter will be given a spot once per month during the Ice House Market season. This will afford the animal shelter another opportunity to put animals in front of members of the community as they work to combat overcrowding and find these animals loving homes. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion for council approval.
Mr. Smith makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem seconds that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That That is unanimous. Our next item of new business is from Mayor Pro Tem Hazel Livingston. This is ratification of the council poll for the utilities contract. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Town Council authorized by poll the award of a utilities line installation on Reed Avenue to NWF Industries for $26,300 in accordance with the town's purchasing ordinance. Other bids submitted were from Carolina Tap and Bore for $27,800, CBG Inc. for $57,361.07, and Metro Construction for $60,000. I make a motion to ratify this unanimous poll vote to award utilities contract to NWF Industries for $26,300.
Mayor Pro Tem makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Manus seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand on how you already voted. Thank you. Our next item of new business is from Councilmember Kathy Manus. This is the uplights on tree islands on Main Street. Councilmember Manus.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Parks Department was contacted about installing uplights on the trees and the planters on Main Street. Bids received were Greenview, $10,746.42. B&B Irrigation and Lighting, $18,870. Landscapes of Columbia, $19,215. I make a motion that council approve to proceed with Greenview as the contractor.
Very good. Ms. Manus makes a motion. Is there a second? Councilmember Smith seconds that motion. Any further discussion?
Yes, I want to go on the record that Greenview is not Green Earth Services. We are not doing this project, okay? So make sure that's on the record, please. We get confused all the time, and everybody accuses us of that, and we're not Greenview, we're Green Earth.
Hazel, you may want to define who us is. You may want to define who us is.
My husband and
okay.
I.
So you on a business named Green Earth?
Green Earth, not Greenview.
Gotcha.
Very good. Anyone else? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of new business is from Councilmember Ron Williams. This is appeal of the impact fees for Premier Elite Medical Services. Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Dr. Christopher Cooper, MD of Premier Elite Medical Services, wishes to open a medical office at 201 Kaufman Farm Lane. He has advised the town of his appeal of the assessment of impact fees on the property to town council. The procedure for appeal to town council is for staff to present its case to the town council and for the applicant to be allowed to respond. This time I'd ask interim town administrator Stuart Ford to present for the town.
Stuart, welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Dr. Cooper. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present on the behalf of town staff our implementation of the impact fee ordinance with respect to Dr. Cooper's new office. I want to show the basis of our determination of the impact fee and that it was in accordance with the town's impact fee ordinance. I've provided to the members of town council and to Dr. Cooper a statement of the various facts in the case with backup information. So I won't read it verbatim, but I will kind of talk through briefly the process and allow Dr. Cooper to present his side as well for your consideration. We were presented with a new business coming into the 201 Kaufman Farm Lane address, and we followed our normal procedures, which is to evaluate the location and to determine if various fees and charges are applicable, including the impact fee. And in this case, the use of the property was changing from an office building to what we'd finally determined was a medical office. So that's a change of use. And under the state statute and also the town's impact fee ordinance, a change of use which creates additional demand for service, subjects of property to the impact fee. And so we realized that this change of use resulted in an impact fee, so we assessed the impact fee. Dr. Cooper responded by issuing a letter to the town for an appeal. That letter was dated May the 1st of this year. In that letter, he cited, at the time, 5 reasons why he thought that the fee should be substantially reduced or eliminated altogether. And my role as interim town administrator was to evaluate the appeal, the request, what we had done as a staff, and whether the ordinance had been properly applied in this instance. And my determination was that we had done it correctly and that the fees assessed were accurate and appropriate. We sent a letter on the 5th of July, which told of our decision to Dr. Cooper and also advised him of his right to appeal to you further. Dr. Cooper submitted to you a letter on the 21st of July, and he has 6 reasons that he's asked for the substantial reduction. These revolve around things such as the hours of operation, that the business is not using all of the facility, just using 1 or 2 rooms versus the full measure of the rooms in the building, limited staff, and the fact that they have a 1-year lease. Those are the basic facts that he has expressed in asking for your consideration for a reduction. And our point is that those facts may in fact limit the amount of traffic, but those are not set in stone, that each of those factors is something that's subject to change. And I would think that it would be the intent of the practice to grow and to possibly have longer hours, use more of the facility, etc. So the fact is that under state law and our town ordinance, we have one opportunity to collect impact fees, and that's at the beginning of the process. And so if we do not collect the impact fee, the appropriate impact fee as determined under the ordinance, at this point, we're forfeiting the opportunity in the future if he should renew the lease, if the practice grows, and so forth. There are a lot of matters that I've put into the discussion here that relate to the state law and also to the town ordinance that document everything that we have done, the basis for that. I won't go into the detail of that, but I will give it to the clerk for the record. I've provided it to the doctor as well. We certainly do want Dr. Cooper to be successful. We want all of our businesses in Lexington to be successful. And we recognize that he does have issues with starting up the business. That is not unusual. But in this instance, the town has applied the ordinance fairly in accordance with the rules that we apply to every other business. And so we believe it is imperative that we carry out the directive of town council through the ordinance process and uphold this impact fee and deny the appeal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ford.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir, Mr. Williams.
Mr. Ford, under the law, if we allow a reduction to his practice, his lease expires in 1 year and he moves out, and another practice moves in, we have an opportunity to recoup any money that we gave him credit for today if we chose to do so.
Well, you could discuss the particulars with the attorney, but at a staff level, the way we would apply that is it is a medical office, and so they get credit for medical office because if there's a change in use, you have to look at the current use compared to the proposed new use. If the new use has, according to the various standards that we have to follow, if it causes more of a traffic impact, we would be at that time required to take impose an impact fee, but we would have to use that existing use. We couldn't penalize a new person, in my judgment, because we didn't collect it when it became a medical office.
So if a medical doctor moved in with 1,000 patients a month versus the 31, we couldn't change.
That would be my position with our staff. If it came to me on appeal, I would say that we had to honor the existing use.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Dr. Cooper, if you'd like to come forward, we give you some time to discuss your appeal. Welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, council members. Thank you, Mr. Ford. I appreciate all the time you put into this. Yeah, really just, I think looking over this from my standpoint, obviously I'm just learning the processes and the laws and all that. So, we are a new business. When I think of a medical office or a dental office, kind of to your point, 1,000 patients, 2,000, 3,000 patients, you go in, there's multiple people in the waiting room, they're seeing 3, 4, 5 people in the back. That's not at all what this is. We're a direct primary care service. We are designed to have a very small number of patients. Kind of looking at it from my standpoint, when we moved in, I think there was a CPA, or small office that was in there. When I look at, the lawyer next door, my accountants and people of that nature, we're more of a comparable type service. We're not a traditional medical office. Now, I realize that we have to be classified as a medical office. But, as far as the impact on the environment, I do not believe we create a substantial, the wording is additional demand on the property. And I'd like to just to clarify too, it'd be one thing if we paid this fee and says, okay, well, Dr. Cooper, if y'all operate in the town of Lexington, you do want to move to a new space. From my understanding, this does not follow us, correct? So, this building, it's an old house that was relocated there. It's not really designed to be a medical office. We didn't really have a lot to choose from whenever we picked this spot. And it was really supposed to be temporary. Though, I can't say what the future holds, but we're certainly not designed to be, the building itself cannot hold a service that sees, 20, 30 patients a day. I mean, it's a very small number of patients that we would see, a handful of patients at most. And so, I certainly understand, Mr. Forrest kind of put it, the town standpoint with the rules for the reason that they are, because we're just a non-traditional service, I don't believe that we would create an increase in demand. And, if we did grow to that point where we've got a few hundred patients on the census, again, we're going to be looking for a more appropriate space. Or we would retain the space as a second space and just find a new space to accommodate the increased demand. So, and I would think that if it went back to kind of a more typical use, regular small office space like the prior tenants, I would doubt that anybody's going to be recoup that money. So I would imagine the town would keep the money, which it's fine, but again, it kind of creates a little bit of a dilemma for someone like myself, who's I've invested a lot of money in the business to bring really amazing service to the town, and we're still operating at a loss, which is fine. I understand it's the nature of business, but again, to my point, I think it's that even at full operation, we're not going to be like a traditional medical office. So just wanted to come and, kind of throw myself at y'all's mercy and ask for consideration for, at least a reduction or any help you can give us. So.
Very good, Dr. Cooper. Anyone have any questions for Dr. Cooper? Anything else you'd like to share with us?
I do, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir, Mr. Carnes.
Is this a one-story facility or a two-story facility?
One story.
Okay.
Properly, it's an old house. It's a living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom in the hallway, and 3 small bedrooms that we're using as office, kind of this office space.
And it looks like, is there an outbuilding there? Is there an outbuilding on that property?
No, sir, unless it's
okay.
a pump house or something maybe.
All right. That's all. Thank you.
Very good, Dr. Cooper. Thank you. Without objection, I'd like this to go in as information only. We'll have some time to discuss this in our next executive session as y'all have some time to go through the literature you've been given. We'll make a decision on this within less than 30 days. Dr. Cooper. Thank you very much. At this time, we'll move into announcements from Councilmember Todd Carnes. But before we move into announcements from Councilmember Carnes, I know it's a little early, but we'd like to wish him a happy birthday on September 28th. So happy early birthday, Councilmember Carnes.
39 again. Feels great. Right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Here we go, Lexington. Only 4 more markets this year plan to attend the Market at Ice House each Saturday in September from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You will always see Councilman Manus there. For a full list of events, go to icehouseamphitheater.com. The Board of Zoning and Board of Appearance will not meet this month. Town Council will meet again September 18th at 6 in the Conference Center for council work session. The Planning Commission will meet on September 20th at 8 a.m. here in council chambers. Things are very busy this time of year at the Ice House Amphitheater. This Thursday, free Ice House Live concerts continue with Cat 5 Band starting at 6:30. On Thursday, September 14th, the Swinging Medallions return. On September 21st, we welcome the Root Doctors back. Better get there early for that one. And on September 28th, when I turn 39 again, Under the Sun returns for a fun night of music. This Friday night is Rocket Man, a tribute to Sir Elton John. Tickets are available at $29. And on September 15th, Sister Hazel is back. Tickets are $32. That's pretty phenomenal. 5, 6 big events right there at the Ice House Amphitheater. Good job to our staff and a great thing for our community. Thank you all for tuning in tonight to Lexington Town Council meeting, and everybody have a great week.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Carnes. Councilmember Manus.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to say, after much prayer and conversations with my family, that I have decided not to seek re-election. It has been a blessing to serve the citizens of the town of Lexington for the past 19 years. The parks, improving our roads and our downtown, and the Ice House Amphitheater, which I love going to, especially on Saturdays. Y'all need to meet me there. All of that's been great that we've done over the past 19 years. My daughter just got married, and she lives in Germany, and they're trying to have a baby. So I will be spending a lot of time in Germany in the next couple of months, I hope. And I also need to spend time with her. Our youngest son, who was 2 when I ran, is now in college, and so my husband and I are loving this empty nest time of our life, and we want to be able to travel whenever we want to travel and not have to work around the first and third Mondays. Olivia Catherine was born since the last time I was elected, and I love being her Nana, and I want to spend a whole lot more time with her. I've loved my time serving on town council. We've had hard decisions to make, but everyone sitting here wants to do what's best for our great town. It was an honor for me to be the first woman from South Carolina to ever serve as the president of Women in Municipal Government. We brought ladies from all over the country to South Carolina, and Becky and I did a whole lot of work showing them smiling faces and beautiful places in South Carolina. And my honor was to serve as the president of the National League of Cities, as the first person from South Carolina to ever serve in that position. I will always be known as the Zoom president of the National League of Cities. I got to travel all over the country, not as much as most presidents, but I did get to travel. And I was so proud to let everybody know that I was from the small town of Lexington, South Carolina. I loved bragging about our town and all the good things that we do. And I'm going to tell you, they loved my accent everywhere I went. When I leave office on December the 3rd, I know that I'm leaving Lexington better than it was when I got here. And it's very important that our citizens pay attention to the candidates who are running to serve on this council. Study the candidates. Do not just go to that ballot box and check those names. You need to study them. We have some candidates, and some of them are here, who will continue to make Lexington a great place to live and to work. But in my opinion, we have others who are running that will set Lexington back. and this cannot happen. I am very concerned about some of the candidates. I want everybody to be here to serve Lexington and not have a hidden agenda. I'm going to leave some of this out, and we'll talk about it next month. We want Lexington to be the best place in South Carolina to work, play, worship, and attend school. The best way to do that is to elect people who do not have a hidden agenda and who want to be a true public servant. I can say that I learned to be a public servant from my daddy, who served on Lancaster Town Council while I was growing up. He was here when I first took the oath of office, and he had gone to heaven by the time I took it the second time. But I know he's watching, and I am so proud that I was blessed to be his daughter and to learn how to be a true public servant. So for the citizens of Lexington, pay attention to who's running, and if you want me to tell you my thoughts on it, give me a call. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely. Ms. Maness, thank you very much for your 19 years and what you've done for this town. Outstanding job. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms.
if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Mr. Smith.
Just two quick announcements. First, I'll do more of an administrative announcement. I'm going to host my September Open Door After 4 meetings on September the 14th in the Conference Center. I'll be from 4 to 6. If you have anything that you want to talk about going on in the town, if you have questions, anything you'd like to work on with me or other members of council, come see me. I'm happy to work with you. And second, tonight's kind of an exciting night for me because I've worked on many issues on council since being elected 3 months ago. But tonight's the first night that an ordinance that I helped draft got its first reading, and that's the Small Business Advisory Committee. And I promise I won't do this every time, but I just want to say thank you to some of the staff members that helped me get that and learn the process by which it goes through. So I just want to say thanks to Stuart and Brad, and especially John and his team, and also Jack as well. You guys helped me understand the process by which that needed to go through, all the research that we did to get that across the finish line. Small businesses are so important to the Lexington community, and I believe it's a great step forward that we did that. And I just also want to say thank you to all of the council members here. We had some things that we had to work through, but ultimately we had those conversations, and I appreciate you all voting in favor tonight of small business in the town. So with all that said, I just wanted to say those two things, and I'll yield back to you, Mr. Mayor. I'll yield back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry about that, Gavin.
It's okay.
I know, I turned it off.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Kathy, somebody's calling you, wanting to know who to vote for.
They really are calling. I'll tell them.
You asked for it. Yeah, you go ring. So.
I did.
It wouldn't be the same without hearing that tune. At least once a night. Very good. Anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Very good. Any questions from the news media this evening? Any questions? Very good. Any public comments regarding any of the agenda items tonight? Are there any questions regarding agenda items? Hearing none. That concludes our business for this evening. Thank you for watching the Town Council meeting for the Town of Lexington. This meeting was held at Town Hall on Tuesday evening, September 5th, 2023. A recording of this meeting will be available for viewing on the town's YouTube channel. Without objection, we are adjourned.